So today, I'm pretty excited. We're launching something. For those of you guys seeing, that's Will. Um,
Hi, everybody.
Will is like the guy on our team that is, if you want to have a good time, you call Will. He knows where to go, where to eat. He knows where to fly. He knows he's a foodie, a jet setter, a partier, but more than anything, a hard worker. So we're going to start this segment, and whether you're listening to this on a podcast, obviously you didn't see Will, but hopefully you heard him. And I'm just gonna just ask him a bunch of questions, and hopefully for those of you watching this or listening to this, you'll get some great advice on things to do. So, Will, before we get into that, why don't you tell people about you? Doesn't have to be professional, just personal stuff.
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Miami. I've been with Compass now for the better part of 3 years, about to be four or six, half a year away from being 4 years with Compass. And I wouldn't trade working at Compass for anything else. I obviously love going out, but more than anything, I love going out with my customers and friends because more than a lot of my customers are out of town people. So there's a different aspect of doing business with those types of customers because they're not only looking for a house or a condo, they could be looking for a friend to tell them what to do or to hang out with. And for all I know, for all anybody knows, they could be your first. I could be their first friend in Miami. So I'm kind of almost like a gatekeeper in an aspect to their new life in Miami. And I've realized that the more that I've worked with people from out of town, it's like, okay, now it's like this is the seventh or eighth time this happens where I have a customer asking me to go out to dinner, we're going out to a bar together, even to a club, and they're becoming my friends now as well, because obviously my friends are out, my customers are out, and they kind of just all meet each other, and it grows from there, the influence and circle of friends. It's cool to see how it integrates with work and then with my personal life.
So, just so people can get an idea of you, how old are you, Will?
I'm 26. I'm about to turn 27 October 4th. So I'm pretty excited for that because we're less than a month now away from my birthday.
Cool. So, one of the cool things about our team is Will is 26 and I'm 52. So, I'm exactly double his age. So, when we have clients come, they would relate to Will a whole lot more than me. Like stuff to do, things to, as far as eating, yeah, I could probably say a few good places. But as far as also, what is your nationality?
Well, I hold on. I think it's give and take because there's obviously certain customers that I'm sure would prefer working with you, and vice versa. I'm sure there's certain customers that would prefer working with me. So it's not all about me. You definitely
Thank
have
you.
your fair share of people that would rather work with you, I bet. But besides that, my father is German. My mother's from Cuba. I was born and raised in Miami my whole life, just outside of Brickell. I've never known anything else other than Miami. I've gotten to explore and see a lot of other places besides Miami, but I've always lived in Miami my whole life.
So that's a good take because when we talk about the places that we're going to talk about in a sec, you can compare that to other places in the world, maybe, right? Where people would
Of
would
course.
find something similar. Okay, so let's get into
Well,
it.
I always compare everywhere I go to Miami. As a matter of fact, for everyone who's watching, you'd probably find it interesting. No, I used to hate Miami. I used to always want to live like in New York or Los Angeles or Denver, something like that. Then I started traveling a lot, and I was just like, all right, the grass is not greener like on the other side for me. Miami is the best city in the world. I love it. I never want to leave here. And I always tell my friends now, and I love traveling a lot, but and the places I go to, but I always tell them to this day, my two favorite days to travel is the day I leave and the day I come back. So I'm always excited to come back to Miami, no matter where I'm at. Even if I just went to, New York for 2 days for a weekend, I still get so excited as if I was gone for 3 months to come back to Miami on Sunday. So,
What was that
um,
turn? What made you change your mind about wanting to move and leaving Miami?
I just always thought Miami was very facey, and everyone was kind of very materialistic. But then I kind of realized that's a general big city thing. The more that I travel to specifically like Los Angeles and New York, it's kind of everywhere. You can't escape that unless you just leave the country and go to a completely different place. With the exception of London, because London's pretty facey as well and materialistic in that aspect, I feel like. Um, but I started to realize nothing's ever going to beat not having to shovel snow in the winter, driving on icy roads, being able to still go to the beach during the winter. Sure, it's super hot during the summer, but I think I'd rather be hot and in kind of more relaxed clothing and settings like that than have to be like wearing a suit every day in New York or maybe even Los Angeles. It's funny because um, I was talking to another agent who does a ton of business, and we were talking about how the way we dress, and even selling like 20 and 30 million dollar houses, they usually don't wear suits. In Miami, they wear like linen pants or dress pants and a polo. It's never a suit. But everywhere else, you see everybody wearing, a three-piece suit or a two-piece suit and a jacket. And I love that the business side of Miami carries over into the cultural side of what everybody who's not from Miami thinks about when they think Miami, like the movies, people kind of wearing linen pants. It kind of travels over a little bit. It's not exactly like the movies, but it's a good rendition for sure. The way that everybody thinks Miami's like.
Yeah, that's cool. So we're gonna get into this and talk about like. So tell me, Will, like, where was your last favorite place that you ate at? Where you went to a restaurant and you were either looking forward to it or you didn't even know about it, and you were surprised and you're like, "Wow, this is really good."
Yeah, I haven't really been anywhere new recently. Unfortunately, there's been a couple places like Paperfish Sushi where I've wanted to go. It's brand new, and I haven't been just yet. But I recently went to a place called Marimoto in Wynwood,
I'm gonna pull
and
this
I
up
hadn't.
while Will is talking.
Yeah, I hadn't been there in a while, and we decided to go, and I was so happy that I had went because I completely forgot how great the food was, how great the just the culture of the. Hold on, let me see if let me make sure that I got the name right.
It's that Iron Chef guy, right?
Yes, it is him.
Marimoto.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Momo-san. That's what I went.
Momo,
I
how do you
was thinking
spell
of
it?
another restaurant. Momo-san. Momosan.
Okay, so let's see if we can find some Momosan Winwood, right?
So we had gone to Momosan Wynwood, and every time you walk into the restaurant, it's some people would find it quirky. I kind of find it funny but interesting. They shout. I forget what the Japanese word is, and then everybody else in the restaurant shouts it after the hostess does, signaling that we have a new customer and we're seating them. And of course, the chef, Chef Momosan, is an Iron Chef. A lot of people know who he is. A lot of the food what I like most about the restaurant is a lot of the final prep for the food is done table side. So like the A5 Wagyu sushi, they actually, and you can see some of the pictures, they'll finish cooking it off at your table for you with like a torch or a hot stone or something like that. If you get, let's say, some type of their Japanese fried rice, they'll mix it up for you at the table as well in these bamboo bowls, and it's a pretty neat dining experience beyond just ordering food. It's an actual kind of, like I said, dining experience, more so than just a waiter bringing your food out from the kitchen and dropping it off and saying enjoy.
So, Will, when I click on the photo, do you see it pop up in the video?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. So, like this, right? Where they have the plate and they have the steak or the butter. I
yeah,
think that's butter, right?
yeah. Well, that's actually fat.
Oh, it's fat.
That's
Okay.
beef fat that they render down first, and then they put on the steak. So,
Wow.
and for what you're getting, I think it's actually very reasonably priced. I think at some other restaurants in Miami, that kind of steak would probably cost you like two or three times the cost.
And
So
what would that
also, I
be?
like that steak. I think it's usually like $35 an ounce. A lot of other restaurants might charge you upwards of $100 an ounce, depending where you go. So
And how many
um,
ounces do you get?
I always get, if I'm ordering that, it's just 3 ounces. It's nice
Okay.
for the taste, and that's about it. Anything else, I don't really eat red meat that much anymore, so that's the other issue. And there's other things in the menu that I actually prefer better than red meat, but it is pretty awesome every now and then to at least taste what A5 Wagyu tastes like. It literally just kind of melts in your mouth, and it really is undescribable and unbeatable to other cuts of meat if you've ever tried it. So,
Yeah. So, what else do you like eating there?
so they also have the dumplings, which were kind of just up there to the left. If you scroll back up, so they bring them in on a skillet, and they finish sizzling them table side as well. They are filled with, I think it's also A5 Wagyu. Yeah, it says meat right there. So it's also A5 Wagyu that they fill it in with. And again, table side, it's sizzling there when they bring it to you. It lights, like they light it on fire really quick, and it's again a dining experience that even more expensive restaurants don't do. So it's definitely worth it. They also have another one of my favorite things is the beef rib ramen. I'm not sure where exactly they might have it on their page, but they apparently only make 35 dishes of it a day. So once it's out, it's out. I've personally never had a problem get ordering one, and I go at nighttime. So, but I would also suggest doing the beef short rib um, ramen, and it literally, the whole beef rib comes inside of the ramen. It's the whole bone and everything, so it's a pretty neat presentation.
Wow. So, like, for people that are listening to this and they want to go like on a date, is this like a place where you take someone on a
I
date
think
to
it's a
impress it?
super I think it's a super great date spot because it's not so formal to the point where if you're not sure where you are with the girl you're dating, it doesn't exude like, okay, this is very serious. It's kind of more casual, and it allows you to kind of just be more relaxed, and you can kind of dress a little more down, but you still get high quality food. So in that aspect, I think it's a super fun and great date spot without a doubt. They have, casual music, like house music in the background, just like other places I like to go to, like Komodo and Novikov. So I think this is a perfect date spot, both financially and from the ambiance too, and food wise. The flavors are all great. There's not a thing on the menu that isn't bad. That is bad. I'm sorry. It's all good. I've had a pretty much everything on the menu, and I've yet to try something I didn't like.
Have you had dessert or drinks there?
I've had drinks. I don't really eat dessert. The only dessert that I eat at any restaurant, period, is like a brownie sundae, but that's such a basic um, kind of like American dessert, and that's I'm not a big dessert guy or sweets guy.
Cool.
Drinks, of course, they have an incredible sake selection that I mean, I've personally in Miami never seen a bigger sake selection. Maybe at Novikov, but that's about it.
Nice. Okay, so you shared with us one place to eat. You want to share another one?
Yeah. So another place that I like to go to regularly is Novikov in downtown. They actually have three restaurants. They have one in Moscow, they have one in London, and they have one in Miami.
How do
I'm
you
not sure
spell
how
it?
the menus. Novikov.
Okay.
That's
We
actually I'm pretty. That's how like everyone pronounces it in Miami, but I think the name is actually Russian and it's pronounced a different way. Um,
let me find their
Hold on.
actual.
Yeah, as you're in the tags right now.
Oh, I keep pressing the wrong thing.
Yeah, you gotta wait for it. There we go.
Okay, cool.
So they, as you can see, it's a pretty popular restaurant. I'm not the actual name on the phone. They pronounce it Novikaiv. I don't know. I don't speak Russian, so. But regardless, they have an outstanding Miami spice menu. They also, outside of that Miami spice menu, 365 days out of the year, they have a business lunch for $28. So you can get a full portion of an entree, an appetizer, and a dessert for $28. You'll be in and out super quick, lunchtime, business, rush hour. And they actually are very, very quick about it because I've done it a handful of times, and it's beyond worth it for the quality of the food that you get and for it being the same size portion as from the dinner menu.
You know, it's
Now,
funny. Sorry to interrupt you. It says world-renowned Chinese Japanese cuisine located in downtown Miami, where Miami River meets Biscayne Bay. I remember you wrote an article on this, didn't you? A blog. It was one of your
I did
favorite
because
blogs. I think.
they also have I did a brunch blog, and they have a pretty unique brunch on Sundays. I think they open at 12. It goes until 6 before they close for 2 hours and open again for dinner service. Their brunch menu is pretty outstanding. It's 89. They have two menus actually. They have a regular, or they have a, I don't know what they call it. Let's just say regular for now, and then a premium menu. The regular menu is $89. The premium is 169. There's obviously food differences and alcohol differences on either menu, but the common denominator for both menus is that everything that's on it is all you can eat and all you can drink. And I think it's super worth it because at a restaurant where you usually go and you'll easily spend 125 to $200 a person, and you get to eat as much as you want and drink as much as you want when a drink already costs almost $20. I think it's beyond worth it as a great Sunday brunch spot before you maybe go somewhere else or just kind of hang out until football rolls around or your favorite team comes on to play maybe later in the day or something like that if you're not going to continue to go out after drinking endlessly.
So, what do you like eating here?
So here they have basically all of the dumplings are phenomenal. They have chicken and morel dumplings, which I think I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but morel is like it's like a mushroom slash um, truffle, if you will, and I think it's phenomenal. They have money bag, or it's called money bag dumplings, and it's literally a it's got a little gold flake on the top of the dumpling. It has tiger prawn inside of it. The sticky ribs are also phenomenal. They have octopus that is just, I think, one of the most, and I love eating octopus. I think they have one of the best octopuses in Miami. Maybe it's more just because of the sauce that they make with it. The sticky ribs, like I said, are absolutely phenomenal. What else do I like from there? Everyone loves ordering the wasabi martinis, which is right there. I guess you pay a little extra to have a little leaf attached to your glass, but everyone likes it. I think it tastes great as well. That's actually on the Sunday brunch menu, so you can drink as many of those as you want. Um, Super popular with everybody who likes to eat there. They also have that other drink is a Oaxacan. It's called Oaxacan Sun. It's a tequila-based drink, and again, everyone loves ordering them. It's spicy, not my type of drink, but people love a lot. People love to go and order those a lot there. Um, what else do I like to eat from Novikov? Let's
So, for
see.
people that have like food restrictions, for both places that you're talking about, you know, the one before and this one, um, if someone is vegan or vegetarian, do you think they could go to either of these places?
I think they definitely could. I don't think they'd have like the best experience in the world, whereas they just went to a truly vegan only restaurant. But there are a ton of vegan items and vegetarian items. People love shishito peppers from Novikov. I think I don't even like peppers, but I still eat them. That's how good they are. And that's one vegetarian menu item that you could order if you are vegetarian, and I think you'll have a blast and eating them, and think the flavors phenomenal. That's also a part actually of their brunch menu as well, the shishito peppers. They also have chicken and morel spring rolls. So they do it in a dumpling and they also do it in a spring roll. Either one is, like I said, just out of this world, bursting with flavor. And I always have to order that when I'm there. They also they have baby octopus. I'm not sure if that's everyone's speed, but you can have it's kind of like lightly breaded and lightly fried, and then thrown into a special type of, I think it's like Szechuan sauce, and then um, you just literally eat some baby octopus out of a bowl rather than the whole tentacle. They had just now, you passed it. duck dumplings, and that dumpling's pretty cool because they literally take a piece of the crispy duck skin and kind of garnish the dumpling with the duck skin, and it just brings all the flavor together. And whereas a dumpling is typically usually kind of soft, it adds kind of a crunchy texture to the dumpling. And again, it's very well thought out how they prepare the food, and you can actually see the kitchen from where you're eating and all the fire and all that, and all the chefs preparing all the food. And for as high quality as the food is and as well designed as it is, it comes out super fast as well. The service is always great. Everybody's always smiling, helpful, happy, and I've never had a bad experience there.
So this place seems a little bit more upscale than the last one, right?
This is definitely more of an upscale place. It's very, like I said, your typical upscale Asian restaurant in Miami. It's very kind of flashy, sexy. You're gonna have people's Lamborghinis and Ferraris parked outside whenever you go there. But reverting back to what I said earlier about Momosan being inexpensive, Navikov is a little more expensive, but I still think for how good the food is and the ambiance and what you get, it's still super worth it. And the next restaurant I'm going to briefly go over, I actually still prefer Navikov over the next one. The next one that I'm going to talk about is really kind of you're paying for ambiance and a name. And a
So
lot
let
of people
me.
like going to this one too.
So when you say this, it's good because what you're doing is sort of what I wanted. So you were talking about dating, right? So the first one could be
Yeah.
like a first date or the early part of a relationship. This one's a little bit more expensive, so
Yeah.
this is a little bit further
Yeah.
in your dating. And then the last one is probably it's more serious, right?
The last one is kind of like this one as far as ambiance is concerned. If anything, the next one is kind of more of a party atmosphere,
Okay.
but it's just more expensive.
Right. Okay, so what is that one?
Komodo.
Okay.
So Komodo Miami, I've taken a bunch of my customers here to eat. I've gone to eat here with a bunch of friends. Um, this is a very popular place. Anyone who's from Miami and you're hearing me talk about this place, you're probably going to go like, of course you're talking about this because everyone goes here. But yeah, it is cliche to an extent, but it lives up to the hype. I think the food is amazing. I think it's a little pricey for what you're getting. I think I kind of prefer Novikov from a financial standpoint, but the who's who of people, like I've gone to Komodo and sat next to DJs like Alesso, and they've been literally right next to me, and I've just been like, wow, this is like the coolest thing ever. I'm eating next to like one of my favorite DJs, and that's happened to me, and that happens regularly there because the owner is Groot Hospitality, Dave Grutman, who owns Swan and Story and Live inside of the Fountain Blue, is also one of the owners, his hospitality group of Komodo. So it kind of comes full circle for him and his group because DJs kind of play at his clubs, they'll go eat at his restaurants, the celebrities and that type of stuff. I've had a bunch of friends who have worked for him. And so through that, I've also been super exposed to kind of always eating at his restaurants and Groot Hospitality's restaurants and clubs and bars. And as you can see, the ambiance continuing on that upscale, sexy Asian type of feel. They have, you can see, they have like kind of these chopstick looking, or not chopstick looking, I'm sorry, samurai swords that are kind of like lit up, that go from the ceiling to the floor. It's all really, really thoughtful and really well done. Service is also great. Every time I go there, I have servers that always, hook me up with either a dish or two or a drink or two. Um, and I don't know if that's just because they always see me or if that's because they genuinely are that nice and cater to the locals a lot. A lot of people, if you're not from Miami, this is definitely the place that you have to go to, and the place that if you think of like Miami, okay, this is the spot that I have to go and be seen at, and eat at. And besides that, the food really it's great. It lives up to the hype, and I thoroughly enjoy eating here. As far as food is concerned, I can without a doubt say, and I know a lot of people are probably going to have their own opinion on this, This is the best duck in Miami without a doubt. I specifically have gone to the restaurant just to eat the duck and leave with a friend or two. The skin is phenomenal. It's super crispy. The way that they serve it is also phenomenal. Presentation is great. They also have money back dumplings like the ones in the center there. The lobster dynamite, which is served on a bed of crispy rice there as well, right under. Everyone loves how the lobster dynamite tastes. I think it's a phenomenal portion as well. And there's really, again, nothing to complain about. The beef short rib that they have is phenomenal. I've had it a bunch of times as well, both with my customers and friends. And again, zero complaints from anything the restaurant has to offer. It's even down to chicken salad. I have one friend who, whenever I go with her, she regularly orders the chicken salad of all things, but that's how great the place is. They even get a chicken salad down to the T.
Wow. So like, it seems like you picked all Asian places today, which is good. I love
I
Asian
think I
places.
did. Asian is kind of the majority of my diet. Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese. I think there's the flavor combinations with the texture combinations. I love Asian culture and Asian food. I think in my opinion, it's very easy food to eat. It's very communal food to eat. And it's kind of a talkative experience where you can share plates a lot. So everyone kind of orders stuff and kind of eats away with each other. And to me, I like those types of experiences more than going to a restaurant, ordering a giant plate of food just for yourself, and everyone's kind of just, face deep into their plate for 30 minutes or an hour and not really even kind of talking to each other. Whereas if you order a bunch of food at these types of restaurants, it's kind of very shareable food. So everyone's always having to look at each other and talk to each other and how's the food. And then, you know, specifically like sushi. Depending on most types of sushis are all served cold. Even like A5 Wagyu sushi rolls that they sear it at the beginning. Whatever, if it gets a little cold, that's still not a big deal. So the food is really it makes it possible to kind of sit there for a little, allow everyone to talk, and the food's not going to go bad. It's not going to go cold because it's already kind of cold. That's the point. So I like that aspect of eating at Asian restaurants too, and I like having the ambiance of like house music in the background and because a lot of restaurants when you go to them it might be somebody playing music from their Spotify, or even I've heard YouTube commercials at restaurants, and they at least really get the music down too. The other cool thing about Komodo is that after dinner service is done at midnight, they actually have a club/lounge upstairs where a lot of people actually will finish eating dinner and then they'll go to the lounge upstairs and they'll continue like the actual party post dinner there. And it's kind of a streamlined process actually how they take you from dinner to the club that they have upstairs.
Nice. So would you say these are three of your favorite Asian restaurants in Miami?
I think these are definitely three of my favorite Asian restaurants in Miami without a doubt. I of course have others that I like to eat at, but as far as just a combination of price, ambiance, walkability, even from living in downtown and Brickell areas or Wynwood areas, Midtown areas, that's another big factor because there's definitely other restaurants I like, but they might require a drive of some sort. And this is really kind of in the heart of Miami, where people like to live, especially people who might be my age, people who are traveling to Miami from out of town, no matter where they're from in the world, you end up staying in the beach area, the Brickell or downtown area. So this is where they're most likely going to end up going.
So if someone came into town and they only had one day to pick some place to eat, what would you suggest out of the three that they go to?
Out of the three, if they had one day to eat, I would tell them to go to Komodo, without a
Okay.
doubt. That's because the other two places are a little more Miami type vibe. A lot of locals go there. Komodo, a lot of locals go, but a lot of tourists also go there. And like I said, it's kind of it's if you look up on Google the places to go in Miami, I'm sure that's one that'll pop up. just like if I look up, the most popular places in New York to go to, the non-local places are the ones that are going to pop up most likely. So,
Yeah, so thank you for sharing this. For those of you that are listening to this, we will have a link to all the three restaurants so you can see the photos, you can get the address and everything else, and we'll share the links as well on YouTube and whatever other platform that you are on. I'm going to